What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first ArenaJankSpot Podcast. If you don't know me, my name's Kev or Kevin. You can call me Okano, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. I've been playing Magic for about 5 to 6 years, on and off, really. I first started playing in Kaladesh is when I really got back into it. Kaladesh and Aether Revolt Standard. I love those two sets, honestly. But that's why I mostly play. I mostly play Standard. I've played some Modern, some Commander. But right now I've been really obsessed with Arena and Historic. Today I got my friend on. His name's RighteousRaikou.
What's going on, guys? RighteousRaikou here, also known as Chris, whatever you guys want to call me by. I originally started getting into Magic actively around the period of Guild of Ravnica slash M19. I played before that, but that was me trying to learn, which that was during like the era of Eldrazi's, which, good God, Emrakul still scares me to this day.
Me too.
Um, yeah, fuck both of them,
Yeah,
especially
agreed.
Aeon Sworn. Fuck it. I specialize mainly in Commander. Currently trying to also study a little bit on CDH, but I also play a little bit of Standard. I do play Modern on the occasion. Also, fuck Primetime. That's really about it for that. I mainly as I say, specialize in Commander, so I know all those jank decks and combos that should not exist and are just absolute degeneracy.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So we got a few plans tonight. First, we're going to talk about the plans for this channel. Honestly, it's mostly going to be arena focused, talking about a lot of standard, because that's most of what I play, standard and historic. Sometimes I'll do these podcasts. Sometimes I'll have other people on the podcast with me, like today. Righteous Raikou, I'm sure he'll come back sometime. Sometimes it'll be just me. But on this podcast, I'm going to talk about basically whatever I want. You know, real cool, real relaxed, mostly Magic stuff. But yeah, that's about what's going to be going on with my channel. What are you doing with your channel right now?
Well, currently my YouTube channel has been on a about a year and a half hiatus, which I'm planning to fix starting this week because of the current global situation. I'll be starting to do pack openings for the Match the Gathering mystery boosters and also Force of Will. And then I also stream on Twitch for video games.
Awesome.
And eventually I'm probably going to do a couple of live streams for Arena.
Awesome. I look forward to watching you play Arena. I've been obsessed with that. I don't know why you haven't been playing it, because it's amazing.
It's the problem is it's like so I've had a couple of issues with Standard over the years,
I agree. It could get worn out like after a while, standard.
and because like my last Standard deck was back in Allegiance because I built a meme deck, so like I understand it should not succeed, and when it does, it's hilarious. I
Yeah.
built a Petitioner Mill deck of Azorius colors, which it should have been just mono blue, but I want to run Deputy Detention and Law Mage Binding, and then the rest was all blue cards. So it didn't work, but oh god, when it worked, I was laughing my ass off while everyone else was like, "Why? Why am I milling 10 to 15 cards a turn?"
Dude, those are the best types of decks to play, though. Like the decks that shouldn't work, but when they do, you have so much fun. Like those are my favorite types of decks. Hence the name of my channel, by the way.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh look, Drowned Secrets, Psychic Corrosion, 4 Petitioners. Yeah, I'm just gonna have you just mill out, like 20%, 25% of your deck right now, and now it's my turn.
Nice. So that's the last standard deck you were playing.
Uh, yes. Currently, that is the last Standard deck that I made. It's still in Standard because it all revolves around the latest card I had in that set is. Oh wait, no, it's because Psychic Corrosion's no longer Standard. It's M19, but everything else in that set is fine because Drowned Secrets is the oldest card that's legal and that's guild. I can't build an Oko deck because Oko's banned in even Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon.
Thank God.
Um, but there's a couple of cards we're going to get through that I would say maybe Oko wasn't that bad.
Oh, dude, I don't think any of the cards that we're gonna get to are as bad as Oko, but I guess we'll see. We'll have
Oko did nothing
differing
wrong.
opinions, maybe. All right.
Oko
Well,
did nothing wrong.
he did. He ruined my life, to be honest. All right. So we're gonna get right into some Ikoria spoilers. I'll throw the card up on the screen right about now for you guys. First card we're talking about, it's called Evasion Control. Evasion Patrol. I'm sorry. Whenever you cycle a card, pay 1 mana. If you do, exile the card or artifact you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control for 2 mana. What do you think about this card, Chris?
So, because with Ikoria finally bringing back cycling, this is very good for any format that wants to cycle out their deck, get a lot of draw power out, and even some cards that have cycling effects. This gives you so much advantage for what you want to do. Anything that reduces your cycling costs, you're going to want to run if you're going to build everything around that mechanic. Even with, because I think even some of these mutation creatures, they even revolve around cycling too, and the companions. So the more support for it, the better.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. I really look forward to playing this card in a standard deck with Agent of Treachery and Thassa. That's going to be disgusting with some cycle cards. Just steal all of my opponent's shit. It's already a pretty good deck in standard.
Gross.
But
Gross.
yeah, it's already a pretty good deck in standard. This is just going to make it even better. In Historic, it has potential with Fauna Shaman. Maybe you can search up another creature with cycling with Fauna Shaman, and then, Evasion... what's it called? Evasion Patrol just goes off that way too. Search up cycling, evasion control triggers, play the creature, blink it, blink everything you want. It's gonna be pretty crazy.
It's also it's not only just that, it's also because the fact you also get to blink anything, it's so important for ETB triggers. So there's so many things in this in these new spoilers that have ETB effects that can just overwhelm you so quickly.
Yeah, exactly. It's not everything though. It's creatures and artifacts.
The ones that are important.
No, yeah, I totally agree. All right, the next card we're going to be looking at is Sea Dasher Octopus. This one's 3 mana flash. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, and it has a mutate cost of 2, so you can mutate it onto one of your other creatures on the battlefield. What do you think about this one, Chris?
So, I didn't give this card like too much thought at first glance because, like on paper, it's a 3 CMC for flash, and when this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
And it's only a 2/2, yeah.
Yeah, on paper, that's not good.
Exactly.
But on mutate, that's where this becomes a whole different issue.
Oh yeah.
Because the whole thing with Ikoria, with the whole the new introduction of mutate and keyword counters, using this on top of anything else that can mutate, so revolves around combat damage to a player. So not just doing card drawing, but also getting more counters, getting things to get just destroyed and exiled. In some things that mutate, you can just bring stuff your graveyard back to the battlefield. You can play stuff for free, copy instants and sorceries. There's a lot of things nuts about the whole mutate mechanic. And when you get to draw a card for having all these stacks of things, then yeah, it becomes busted.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's kind of like a Curious Obsession. It could be flashed onto a creature to draw a card, except, it's 3 mana, not 1 mana, obviously. But you can mutate it for 2, so it's a little bit better. But still, I don't think it's as good as Curious Obsession. But if mono blue tempo or blue white flyers becomes a deck in standard with this next rotation, then this will definitely see play in that deck, and it'll be quite good. Okay. Next card we're going to go into is called Cunning Nightbonder. So this card's pretty insane. It's 2 mana flash, spells with a flash cost 1 less, and can't be countered. What's up?
No, I'm laughing at the card because it's such a dumb card. Like, it should not exist.
Yeah,
for 2 hybrid Dimir, it's disgusting. 2 CMC for a 2/2 that just buffs everything else in your hand. You run Leyline of Anticipation. Cool. Everything just can't be countered now.
Yeah, exactly. It gives everything in your deck flash with Leyline, and then nothing can be countered, and everything costs 1 less. It's insane.
There's so many things that you could just, it just says you win. You'll win. But there's a decent amount of cards in this set that have flash. So you're just like, cool, I'm just gonna keep playing and screw the target blue mono player.
And like, even well, in this set we have a bunch of cards coming up with flash. In standard, there's already a pretty good Simic Flash deck, so it will definitely see play in standard with Simic Flash. I was also thinking about modern. One of my favorite modern decks to play is blue black fairies. I think it could definitely be good there because, like, imagine playing let's say a Mistbind Click at 4 mana seems pretty good, but at 3 mana it seems kind of insane. Tap all your opponent's lands for 3 mana. Sounds good to me. I don't know. I might have to try that in Modern Fairies.
I hated your modern deck for the longest fuck time.
Dude, this will just make it better. I can't wait.
And especially run Venzer, because I actually have the card in front of me. Venzer Shaper Servant, it's 2 and 2 blue. With flash, and when it ETBs, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand.
Oh,
so you combine
dirty.
that with how many times you can blink it back and forth to the battlefield. Just be like, yeah, all your land's gonna go back to your hand now.
That's insane, dude.
Just be like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep blinking this, and oh, you have what? You have like 5 lands in play and a couple creatures. Yeah, no, they're all in your hand. What do you do?
Yeah, I think this card will definitely see play, and I don't know. Do you think you played more modern than me? You think I'll show up in modern?
In modern, I would say it has a chance because even though right now for modern, it's one of the more powerful things that have been happening in there, from what I've seen, is Jund. Just because there's so much in Jund right now. Because you have Ren and 6 running around. Or did he get banned? I don't even remember
I think
anymore.
he's still legal.
Okay. But there's so much power in Jund that this might actually be able to bring back a lot of power for Dimir, Sultai, which, I mean, Sultai's already been a good color all these years anyway, but that's besides the point. Giving so much flash support, it might end up being I wouldn't say like the top deck, but I'd say it'd probably make a top 10 on a GP.
Nice. I look forward to seeing that card in play, honestly. I'll probably watch more modern,
In my
like,
honest
with this
opinion.
set. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't play as much as you, but I thought it might show up somewhere. Let's get into the next card. It's called Fiend Artisan. So Fiend Artisan gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard, and you can pay X and hybrid blue black rather. Tap it, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only anytime you would cast a sorcery. What do you think about this one?
So that, because I was actually trying to pull up the card right when you were reading it.
Oh, no problem. Take it down.
Because I know it's the wall of text. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty big wall.
So the fact that it's 2 mana for 1/1, it could be worse, or
Yeah,
I mean, it could be better.
The body on it isn't great. It could be better, definitely.
But the fact it's hybrid mana is a real big advantage for that. So it eases up the restriction for it.
Definitely.
Giving yourself +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard, that's already what Golgari does. So you don't lose on anything here. And then the ability with sacking a creature, which you already want to do, and now you get to search your library and just smack a creature right on the field and possibly do it again later.
Exactly.
And just keep you, because if you put it in Sultai, what you can end up doing is you can use Prime Speaker Vanifar, tap something to bring one creature to basically birthing pod one creature into another, use Fiend Artisan to do it again, and possibly get even something larger and just food chain it out.
Sounds pretty good to me.
I'm seeing some dumb stuff right now.
Yeah, in standard, this is like, it's kind of like a mini Termagloyf in Golgari, honestly. It's not quite as good, but it could be good in a Golgari deck for sure. Um, it can get pretty damn huge late game. It can just be a 20-20 late game, you know. It's also a great threat in mid game. Could be like a 5-5, you know, turn 4, turn 5. It's really kind of insane, especially in historic. We have Stitcher Supplier. So if you play turn 1 Stitcher Supplier, turn 2 Fiend Artisan, and you can like sack the Stitcher Supplier later, this thing can get huge really quickly.
Yeah, I'm right now. Like I'm see like if it said for each creature in each graveyard, it'd be so much
Yeah,
worse. Like
that'd
as
be
in like
nuts.
toxic. It's like, oh cool, how many creatures do you have? 10. I have like 10. Cool, it's a 20-20. I win.
No problem. Turn 8, 20, 20. No, not 8. It would probably be
Eh,
sooner, honestly. Probably like 5, 6.
It's Golgari. Beat like turn 4.
Yeah, definitely in modern. I don't know about standard.
I mean, it depends how this shapes up. Because if they have enough like turbo mill into your graveyard, you might be able to pull it off. But I
Yeah,
don't think they have any cards in the current standard format that's able to do that.
I don't think so.
At
All
least
right.
not for Golgari.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into our next card. It is Quartzwood. Is that the right one? Yeah. Quartz Forest Crusher. Trample when one or more creatures you control with trample deal damage to a player. Create an XX green dinosaur beast token with trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player. What do you think about this one?
So that's interesting because if you build around a token deck, this is going to be what you're going to want to end up running. Uh, I don't see it being a major player for standard. I'd say it's definitely going to find a way to be useful, but I I personally do not see it being because like Gruul is already going to be a powerful color for this set. Like I spoiler alert, they got really good cards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, and like it's got trample. They got trample. It's good. And the only thing is, I kind of wish it was more than just one creature token
Yeah, that'd be nice. Honestly, if it was multiple, that'd be awesome.
because it's whenever one or more. So because of that keyword, if you attack with one or if you attack with 10, you're still only getting one.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the only problem I have with it. I can see some jank happening in um, probably maybe Commander, but I you would have to because then you would have to run like doubling season and focus heavy on
The
uh
token side of it. Yeah.
exactly. It's going to be a run and gun, and when you have cards from Ravnica Allegiance that gives everything it gives all your creature spells not able to be countered and gives them riot, this can be a threat. It's just 5 minutes for a 6/6 with all those key techs. It's not it's good, but I don't see it paving a big path into any format immediately.
No, I totally agree. Except for one case in historic, it's gonna be pretty damn good in a Dinos deck. Um,
Exelon.
it's gonna be so fun in a Dinos deck, honestly. I'm not sure if it will see any play in standard. It might if you run it with like Rhythm of the Wild. I'm not sure. Maybe a very trample heavy focus deck. But other than that, don't think I'll see too much play.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Alright, let's get into the next card. How do you pronounce this name? Relie? The
I
Everwise?
think it's Riel. I think it's
Real the
Riel the
Everwise.
otherwise.
Okay. So it's 3 mana, is it colors? 1 blue, 1 red, 1 colorless. She gets +1/+1 for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard, and whenever you discard 1 or more cards, for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. What do you think about this one?
So it getting +1/+0 is not the best.
Yeah, it's not the biggest deal because it only has like 3 toughness.
And so, and then whenever you discard one or more, you draw that many, which is a very, very powerful thing.
Oh yeah.
That's the one thing is it gives you so much card advantage of if you have any wheel or windfall effects, you're getting so much hand advantage all the time. And it's one of those cards that I could see it works very well with the cycling mechanic. So you constantly get more and more value out of your cycle, even like because I'm pretty sure it's also going to be in one of the commander precons.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It gives you so much power for very little value because this isn't something to swing with. This is something that's just going to be like I'm going to just deck my whole, just put all my deck in my hands, and I'm just going to overwhelm everyone.
Exactly. It's just gonna sit on the battlefield and give you so much value.
All I was gonna say is that it's literally just there to be a distraction for everyone. Of like, yeah, it's a 0/3. Like, what is it really gonna do? And then you have it because I forget if humans can mutate or not.
They can't.
They can't.
No.
Okay. Because I was about to say, if you're able to mutate this, I would have been like, wait a minute.
Yeah, mutating it would be sick. I think I'll probably see play in Commander. It might see play in Standard with Improbable Alliance if this set makes that card good rather. And I think it might. It has a good chance, honestly. This card seems pretty sick for that deck. Also, might come up in Historic Improbable Alliance decks. Obviously, if it comes up in Standard, it'll probably come up in Historic as well. But yeah, I don't see it really getting played much else other than Commander.
I wonder if because this idea popped in my head. I wonder if there's any turbo mill strategies for Izet because this if you have if in modern, which I'm pretty sure in modern you have like wheel and windfall effects.
Yeah.
If you can build a Izet turbo mill, that this will be incredibly hard to deal with.
Definitely.
Incredibly.
All right, let's get on to the next card. Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt. So, all right, this is a long one with all the mutate stuff, but 1 mana, red, white, black. It has mutate for 2 mana, hybrid, black and red, and then 2 white mana. And it is it's a 4 mana 3/5 with double strike. You could mutate it for the cost I said, 5 mana. Um, when this creature mutates, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, and you gain 4 life. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, you know how I said that Oko's not that bad?
Yeah, this card's pretty disgusting, but I don't think it's Oko bad.
Um, no, I meant like Oko doesn't live. That's why. But so for one in Mardu colors, it's first of all just by itself, its value. Mutating, there's so many good effects that with even in those colors you combine and you just end up doing stupid amounts of damage with double strike, lifelink, even give it like death touch, menace, whatever your heart desires at that point. And then the fact because there's also planeswalkers in this set, which I think we'll get to later on. One being a new Vivian and a brand new planeswalker that we've never met until this plane. So you always need planeswalker removal and creature removal. This is that on a stick, and you get life for it. 4 life in standard is a lot of life.
Yeah, 4 life swing is nothing to scoff at.
Especially like if you mutate this onto something that becomes like 11/11 and give lifelink, cool. The game's over.
Yeah, exactly. It will definitely feel like that late game.
This is definitely a late game card.
Well, even mid range too, but it's definitely gonna see play in standard and historic. It's basically a Ravenous Chupacabra, but it has a better body, so I can't see a downside to it really. And Ravenous Chupacabra was played all the time in standard when it was in standard, and it's still played in historic. Do you think it'll be played anywhere else?
He's definitely going to see play in Commander. It first of all, Dinosaur Tribal, Cat Tribal, and I mean, I guess Nightmare Tribal if that's a thing. Besides Changelings, the weird thing is always mutate because this is going to be a very large point. I'm going to keep circling back to because it's a very large portion of this set. This is going to change a lot of the formats.
Yeah,
Maybe
totally
not
agree.
Legacy
The
and
mutate
Vintage,
ability.
but that they're a whole different being. This can end up just being something that's utterly insane.
Yeah, I agree. The mutate ability is definitely going to change a lot because it's going to change a lot of rules too. Like when a mutate a mutated creature flips, like what do you do? Like there's gonna be a bunch of rule changes. They probably already made them. I just haven't looked into them honestly.
The only thing that so like there's only one thing that's upsets me for me being like this is me being selfish. So I wish it didn't say target. I wish it said chosen
Okay, yeah.
because I can then mutate my progenitus.
That would be disgusting.
Yeah, no, everyone would just be like, "Oh, what the hell are you doing?" Yeah, no, here you go. It's an 11/11 with double strike and it's progenitus.
Oh yeah, no big deal.
Bye.
Easy to deal with. Easy to deal with. Fair combo right there.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not indestructible. Oh wait, you can give it counters now. It's fine.
All right. The next card we're gonna get into, Yadaro Wandering Monster. So this one is a 7 mana trample haste with cycling 2. When you cycle it, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. If you cycled a card named Yadaro Wandering Monster 4 times or greater in this game, put it into the battlefield from your graveyard.
So, this is going to be a very interesting card to play. So, this card never wants to be cast, it always wants to be cycled in through your deck. And if you're running 4 copies of these, it's going to help you turn through everything so much faster.
Yeah, especially if you have like a turbo draw deck, like an Improbable Alliance deck, like I mentioned earlier. Might fit into one of those decks.
Yeah, because especially like you reduce the cycling cost by 1 generic, so that way it's only 1 red, and you just constantly turbo it through. And the keyword is when you because it says when you cycle, and after the when it hits the replacement effect, it goes onto the battlefield. The big thing is it's treated as a different it's not cast, so it doesn't have to obey timing rules.
Exactly.
So you can literally just do it on someone's end step, and it doesn't even matter if that has haste. You just be like, cool, it's on the battlefield now.
Exactly.
Oh wait,
An 8/8 end step creature seems sick.
oh yeah, response. Oh, you're swinging at me. I'm just gonna cycle this again. Oh, it's my 4th time. Cool, it's now in the field.
Yeah, it's a janky card, but I really look forward to making a deck built around like cycling and just drawing a bunch of cards, getting like one of these things out on the field as quick as possible. Like turn 5 would be sick. Probably more likely turn 6 or 7, but it'll be really cool once I do it.
I would say it would be viable jank because it's not. I don't see it being like an absolute meme of a deck where it's almost like nigh unplayable. This, if you're building a Dinos Matters deck, this is definitely going to be a big hit and run.
Yeah, I can see it there, maybe. Only time will tell. Alright, let's get on to the next one. Mythos of Nethroi? I don't know. It's an instant 2 mana black. Destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature, or pay green, white, black, or if green, white spent to cast this spell. What do you think about this one?
So
The wording is a little weird on this, but I'll explain
that
it.
yeah, so that's my issue with it is I don't like the wording for
Yeah,
this.
the wording's awful, I agree, but it pretty much is an assassin's trophy, but they don't get a land from it if you pay the extra cost.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Assassin's Trophy can target anything that's not a land. For some reason, I always thought it would, like you could actually target like a non-basic land.
Okay.
But I've never ran Assassin's Trophy in my decks. I've known about the card. I own it, but yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It's at base cost, it's just a better murder, and murder already seems some slight play in standard, so this will definitely be played over murder. And in a Abzan deck, this is going to be a auto include in every single Abzan deck that you play in standard and historic for a while, because being able to destroy any permanent and they don't get a land for 3 mana is insane.
Well, because also it looks like it could be for 2 mana if you use the replacement color.
Oh yeah, that's right. It would actually be just, yeah, green and white. You're right. That would
Because
That's insane.
because that's the problem I'm reading with this is it's fairly poorly written in rules,
No, I totally agree.
but it makes sense that like after analyzing it for a hot second. So basically, you could still do it with 3 mana, and if you're running mono black, but if you're running 3 color, you only have to spend 2 mana for this. Like, it's insane.
That's crazy. Yeah. I'm excited for this card. I can't wait to build an Abzan deck, run 4 of these, and just kill everything. It's gonna be great.
Also, Selesnya like almost never gets like a lot of love for like targeted destruction, at least when it comes to creature removal for cheap.
Yeah, true. Be great in Selesnya too. If it plays that way, I'm not exactly sure if it plays that way. I guess we'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. It's gonna be awesome. All right, the next one. I'll actually have to pull it up. Give me 1 second.
Right as you were finishing the last one, I'm like, oh cool, now I'm just gonna start searching for the next one. Yeah, this next one's actually is actually really good.
Yeah, so it's 2 mana, Orzhov, Orzhov colors, black and white. 2 mana, exile target creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to that creature's toughness. What do you think about it?
So this was announced back when the commander, like basically the commander decks are fully announced right now. This was back at the beginning of the announcements. So this comes in the human tribal deck they're making, which some of the cards are a little bit hit, and the others are like some of them are miss, and there's a lot though that are really good. This is one of them, where it's a anguished unmaking that's for granted it's not for non-land perm it's not a it doesn't say target non-land permanent, but it's free removal for 2 mana, and if you're running this card, you're going to end up running humans anyway, so you don't have to worry about losing to that creature's toughness. And what's even better, if something has like one if you're facing off against one of the gods, they're forced to block. They block, so they have 0 toughness, but because of indestructibility, they still stay on the field. You use dire tactics, you don't lose any life from it.
Yep, exactly. Dire Tactics is gonna be a sick removal card, in standard at least, and historic. I know it's definitely gonna show up for a fact. You think I'll see play anywhere else?
It's going to be played in, well, besides commander, because it's going to be included in
Yeah, in the
one
precon.
of their decks. But there's definitely going to be use for this in any deck that involves Orzhov colors, because any removal is the best removal.
Exactly. I think I'll show up definitely. Seems very
Modern
good.
Modern's going to see play in this.
Yeah.
I can definitely see someone just like, yeah, cool, that's fine. I'll exile that, and I'll lose like 3 life, 6 life, sure. Which 6 life is a lot, I know. But if you're playing Orzhov Aristocrats, you're going to end up gaining that life back anyway.
There are so many like humans already in standard and in this next set that like sometimes you just won't even lose life incidentally just by having it in your deck, and that's pretty awesome.
Splash blue and run persistent
Oh
petition.
god. Yikes. God, this card's gonna be fun. The next one we got Luminous Broodmoth. So it's 2 colorless and 2 white. Flying, whenever creature you control dies without flying, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with flying. What do you think about this? Well, with a flying counter, I should say, not with flying.
So, first thing to note is the fact that it looks like Mothra, and it's based off of Mothra, and it's even got its own Godzilla card called Mothra.
Exactly.
I'm
I
all
can't
about
wait
it.
for that. Oh yeah.
Because God bless kaiju's. But honestly, for 4 mana, being a 3/4 with flying, that's already real value for the evasion. And then whenever a creature you control without flying would die, it gets flying counters on it. So the funny thing is, if you play with anything that says players and creatures can't get counters, you can run this and you constantly bring back anything that dies.
Exactly. It's gonna be so fun.
So if you're running, let's say, modern, and you're playing like Kitchen Finks or Gerald's Messenger, they die, they get brought back, and then if you have a way to remove the those counter, oh, that's right, because nothing can get counters, so you just keep getting back and back and back, and you just keep getting infinite ETBs.
Exactly. I can't wait to play with this card even in standard. It's just like a board
But for
clear.
standard, it's gonna be real value.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just a board clear preventer. Like they can't well, they can shatter this guy, but everything is gonna come back to the battlefield anyway. So it's gonna be so strong, and they come back even stronger. Not even just come back to the battlefield. It's kind of like an annex, except I'd say slightly better because everything gets flying, and it's an annex in white. Costs 1 more mana, but it's pretty damn good. Last card on my list, at least, that I have is Vardock, Apex of Thunder. So this one is 3 mana, Jeskai colors, with Mutate for 4 mana, 2 red, a hybrid, white, blue, and 1 colorless. Flying first strike. When this creature mutates, you may cast a non-creature spell with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. What do you think about this one?
I mean, what's not to say about the value that is this card?
Yeah.
It's you pay Jeskai to get a 3/3, which already that's cheap.
A 3/3 with first
And then it
strike
has
and
flying and first strike,
like almost
even
a
more value for
exactly.
getting first strike and evasion. And then the fact that as soon as it mutates, you can just bring back something from your graveyard and not pay the mana cost, and it doesn't get exiled after it's recast.
Yeah, this card's
That's a
gonna
key
be
thing. You
insane.
get free flashback, and it doesn't get exiled.
Yeah, this card's gonna be pretty nutty.
It's broken.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, I'm sorry, not broken. It's just real value.
It is. It might be broken. I don't know. We'll see. It's like, imagine playing this in standard and you play. You do for the mutate cost. You get a Teferi back. You bounce it back to your hand. You do it again. Like it's just gonna create so many loops. It's gonna be crazy. I cannot wait. Did you want to talk about this Vivian Planewalker?
Okay, so this new Vivian is something else.
Yeah. What is it exactly?
Vivian Monsters Advocate. So it costs 3 and 2 green for a legendary planeswalker with 3 loyalty. It has the passive ability of you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library, which is already that value in of itself.
Yeah, already a great ability. I agree.
+1, you create a 3/3 beast creature token. Put a choice of vigilance, reach, or trample counter on it, which value. And then -2, when you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser CMC and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
Yep, this seems pretty nutty to me.
So there's a reason, the main reason I brought this card up is because I did a little bit of researching
Oh yeah, what'd
when
you
this
find?
card came out. So it pairs well with another Vivian card that was released back in War of the Spark, which is called Vivian Champion of the Wild
Okay.
for 2 and a green, where you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. So you could just flash in the top of your deck all the time.
Yeah, that seems insane.
And then there's also a Gruul enchantment. I think it was like the mana cost was like 1 red and a green for basically saying creature spells you control cannot be countered,
Yeah,
and
it's Rhythm of the
creatures you
Wild.
control enter the battlefield. Yes, Rhythm of the Wild. And they enter the battlefield with Riot. So you combine those 3 cards together, you end up just over flooding the board when it's not even your turn.
Yeah, that's gonna be so fun. I look forward to making a janky deck around that for sure.
It's almost like more than jank. It's almost better than jank though, because it's a legitimate like strategy.
It's definitely gonna be in a deck. I don't know how good it'll be. It's probably gonna be decent, but I don't think it'll be that great. It's gonna be a little janky.
It's going to be probably in like mid-range Gruul,
Yeah.
because of also the other planeswalker that I want to mention.
What's the other planeswalker you were gonna mention?
It was the newest planeswalker that we now know. Like, it was announced on the trailer for Ikoria, and his name is Luca Coppercoat Outcast. His CMC is 3 and 2 red for 5 loyalty. So CMC 5 CMC for a 5 loyalty, that's just nuts. +1, exile the top 3 cards of your library. Creature cards exiled this way gain. You may cast from exile as long as you control Luca Planeswalker. -2, exile target creature you control, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with higher CMC cost. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. -7, each creature control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent.
Yeah, this seems like it pairs pretty well with Vivian and goes perfectly in a girl deck.
The power that these planeswalkers have is nuts. Like, they gave so much support for Gruul that now it's actually starting to become a little more viable to run it.
Yeah, I agree. Gruul's gonna be pretty good. It was already a pretty good deck, maybe like tier 2 in standard, but I think it might be pushed to tier 1 this time.
I'd say it might be it'll be close to like tier 2 or tier 3, because I think it's still going to end up being like Sultai and like Sultai, Jeskai, even Simic. Those cards, because blue is still such a powerful color in any format.
Yeah, definitely.
One card I want to mention that's from the Commander, spoilers though, is it's a very, very broken card in of itself. It's called Fierce Guardianship. The CMC is 2 and a blue for an instant. If you control a commander, you may cast the spell without paying its mana cost.
Oh my god.
Counter target non-creature spell. It's free counter spell.
That's pretty nuts. I was just like reading the whole card, like, wait, what?
It's free counter spell, man.
Yeah, counter spell's 2 mana, and it's already one of the best counter spells in the game, but this one's free, so why not play it?
And there's already one card from Ikoria, which is legal in standard. It is not legal in Commander because it got instantly banned.
Oh, the otter.
Yeah, it's because their reasoning is, oh, because it's an auto include in every deck that can run those colors. Which now you look at this of, oh, you pre-banned that, but you couldn't pre-ban this. This is literally auto include in every single blue deck.
Yeah, that's gonna be in every blue Commander deck for sure.
It was one of those. It's one of those things I was just like, why? Why'd you have to do this?
Why'd you do this to us, Wizards? Well, some people like playing blue, you know. Myself, blue and white are probably my favorite colors to play. So
And then
I'm
there's a
sorry
bunch
in
of good like
advance.
reprints that they made, but definitely Ikoria in general is going to be a very powerful set.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much all the cards I had to talk about for Ikoria. Did you have anything else you want to bring up for Ikoria?
There's an artifact called Manascape Refractor for 3 mana for an artifact. ETB's tapped. It has all activated abilities of all lands on the battlefield, and you may spend mana as though for mana of any color to pay for activation costs for the abilities.
Seems pretty good to me. Field of the Dead is in historic, you know. You just play that down. Basically, you got a Field of the Dead.
That card's gonna get banned.
Oh yeah, it might get banned. We'll see.
And then even Twinning Staff, 3 CMC colorless for an artifact. If you would copy a spell 1 or more times, instead copy it for that many times plus an additional time. You may choose new targets for the additional copy.
Seems pretty good to me.
Even like Fluctuator got reprinted. Yeah, for those who don't know what Fluctuator is, it's for 2 mana artifact. Cycling abilities you activate cost up to 2 less to activate.
This is in.
I have to see if it's going to end up being standard legal.
No, it's probably. I can't imagine that being standard legal. Maybe it will.
I wish it was.
I don't know. We'll see.
Because it feels right. That's the
I'm pretty
problem.
sure it's
It
only
feels
for
right.
Commander though, but yeah, it feels good.
Because the thing is with the Brawl decks where they had the exclusive cards from the Brawl, but they're also legal in Standard.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like that situation to me of like, okay, this whole set is dealing with cycling. It's very important for the format. It makes sense to be like, oh, we're gonna bring this back, see what happens.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it comes up. I'm very excited for Ikoria. Are you? Well, you said you'll be playing more standard, right?
I'm definitely gonna start playing more standard. I'm probably gonna end up building a either a Gruul deck or a Sultai, in all honesty.
Nice. I look forward to seeing it. How about we move on to the next topic? What games have you been playing during this quarantine?
So during the crisis, I've been playing like Animal Crossing, some Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, but what I just started playing, and I'm not going to be putting down anytime soon because it's a long game, is Persona 5 Royal.
Ooh, Persona 5, nice.
Oh my god, I already put 600 hours into Persona 5 by itself. So now this game is going to be, oh cool, let's see how much time I can waste this time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, sounds like you'll be getting a lot of hours into that while we're boggling down on
When
this
I
quarantine.
Yeah, because when I was injured, I had nothing else better to do, so I was like, how far can I 100% this game? Like
Sound
to a point of like it was past 100% on the trophies of I tried to get certain items that you can only get at certain events and it doesn't count towards anything.
Oh
It's
my
just
god.
a congrats you did it.
More than 100% the game.
Yup.
I've been playing a lot of BioShock. Have you ever played that game, BioShock?
Oh, BioShock's real good.
Oh yeah, I
I
like.
didn't play Infinite though.
Oh what? You haven't played Infinite yet?
No, I played 1 and 2.
Ah, see, I'm playing one over again. This is probably one of my favorite series of all time, honestly. The story in all these games are just so good. I can't wait to finish it again. Why haven't you played Infinite?
I just haven't gotten the chance because anytime like I could play it, I get distracted by ooh new shiny brand new thing. Um, just like I want to play Doom, but so many other games came out in March. I'm like, this is not going to happen.
Yeah, I feel you,
But
but I totally recommend picking it up when you can because it's an amazing game.
I almost got it for free off of PSN, but then I forgot. I think I forgot to download it 1 month, so I ended up not being able to get it. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh God, gone forever. What's your favorite deck that you've been playing in Magic recently?
So I've for Commander, I have quite a few. I have 3 like really good decks, and I have pre-cons, and then I just been homebrewing 2 new decks. So my favorite deck is like the my go-to deck is usually my Sultai Mill deck
Oh, sounds fun.
with Damia leading the charge. It's fun when I Leyline the Void turn 0 and just make everyone's life miserable. And then I have Estrid for enchantments, and it's all Pillow Fort. Hydra is big Hydra is just smacking you across the face with Progenitus.
Oh God, that sounds disgusting.
And it's not the best deck I have, but it's
Sounds fun
fun.
as hell, yeah.
And then the 2 new decks I have is Sharoom. I forget the last name, but
Shroom?
it's 3 and Esper
What's
for
it do?
when it's basically for when it's ETB, you return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So it's Esper artifacts. And then I have another artifact deck I'm working on, which is mono blue. You want to take a guess who the
Urza.
general is on that? It's Urza.
Got it.
And it's gonna look real nice with the mana crypt I pulled.
Oh God, you got a mana crypt now. Oh, yeah, I actually saw
I
that.
have 2
Yeah,
of them. I
nice.
have 2 of them.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun deck.
You almost done building it, or how long are you away from it?
Um, so right now it's all like it's all proxied out for the time being,
Oh, okay.
just because some of the cards are either really hard to get or they're just above my budget where I can't get them all in one swoop.
Yeah, such
So
as magic.
it's more of let me play test this and get the cards as we go, and then it works.
Yeah.
I have a mana crypt, so I'm only like 99, 98, 90. I have 2 cards out of the 100, so it's fine.
That's funny. I've been playing a lot of goblins in historic. Honestly, this deck is yeah, this deck's not very good, but it's so fun to steal wins away from like top tier decks when you just swarm the board and they can't do anything about it. They happen to not have a board clear, which is rare, but it happens, and you just win turn 4. Just too many goblins. It's so fun.
Because the thing is, it's not like legacy goblins where it's like, oh, cool, I win on
Yeah.
like turn 2.
Exactly. There is a card that lets you draw. Well, you look at the top 4 cards of your library and you draw all goblin cards from among them. So that card is pretty strong and can get you back from a board clear, but other than that, it doesn't really have much legs. It's just really fun to play.
Like I almost have PTSD from goblin decks because so when I was first starting in Magic, I did have I had a Liliana Planeswalker deck from M19.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into Magic was by that Planeswalker. Everyone has that one deck that starts it.
Yeah.
So I started playing with that, and this one guy, he's just like, "Oh, you want to play game Magic? Sure." I assumed he had, like fair stuff. Nah, he was playing Legacy Goblins against my Planeswalker deck. I didn't even like play a card. I lost.
Oh my god.
I like I didn't go first, so he just swung at me with haste, and then the next thing I know, I'm like, I'm dead. What?
Yeah, I remember the first time I played Magic, like I had some shitty deck and I was playing against someone like for the first time, my first game playing against this guy who had like a top tier werewolf deck in like not Throne of Eldraine, Eldritch Moon. I'm like, how am I supposed to beat you? I just started playing Magic, but everyone's got to learn.
Yeah, and also when I first got into Modern with my Mono Black Devotion, which I still have like a soft place in my heart for that deck, but it got deconstructed because everyone I know doesn't really play Modern that
Okay.
much. So I'm like, it ended up like it wasn't a great deck anyway. Like it was 4 copies of Phyrexian Obliterator, 4 copies of Gary, Lilies Up the Ass, Erebos, Phyrexian Arena,
Sounds
like
like
all the real good stuff.
yeah, sounds good.
But I would always get my ass stomped in by this one guy running Primetime Amulet,
Oh.
where it's like, oh, why do I show up? Why do
Yeah.
I? Because it would be the same thing every week that I'd go for Modern, and because me and him would be the only people that show up for Modern, and every every time it'd be that deck, and I'm just like, dude,
Yeah, Magic can be like that sometimes. You got to find the right people to play against.
that is the unspoken motto of Magic at this point.
Exactly. That's the one thing I would tell anyone who wants to get into Magic. Like, find the right group of people, or else they'll just stomp you with unbeatable decks. And it's
Or
fine
just
if
play
they,
Arena.
yeah, or just play Arena. And it's fine if they want to like play those strong decks. Just like, if you're just starting out, don't use these decks against these new players, please.
Yeah, the
If you're
thing is,
just playing for fun. If you're going to an F&M, like expect to play against strong decks, obviously. But if you're just playing for fun, come on.
yeah, it because it's one of those things of if it should always be like kind of a if it's for fun, there should be the social contract of play at some kind of reasonable power level that's close to the person you're playing. So that way it's fun and competitive for both of you.
Yeah, I agree. Like you can still try to win, obviously. Just like maybe don't use your top tier deck.
Maybe not play mono blue and just say no.
Exactly. The first deck they play against mono blue, no, not gonna
Oh
happen
yeah,
again.
that's how someone that I almost actually just quit Magic once
Oh my
because
god.
someone was playing mono blue against me, and I think I was borrowing someone's deck at one point, and I think I was having like modern versus modern, and I was playing against a mono blue person. I'm like, no, 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 no. I hated it. Hated every second of it.
Are you talking about me?
No.
I'm
Someone out.
surprised.
No, you weren't the because I was. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Okay, it was
Yeah, I do. I do.
smug guy with glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, Kevin, I'm not describing you.
yeah.
But he ran a mono blue deck where it's just like ancestral recall, all the good stuff. Where it's like, what do I do?
Yeah, like what are you supposed to do? Yeah. All right. How do you feel about the current standard meta? I know you don't play a bunch of standards, so if you don't got much to say, that's okay.
I've so I don't play it, but I like to at least like watch the trends.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting with like how the current climate is. At least it's stable for the time being, where there's no going to be any like rapid bans right now. Well, obviously because there's no GPs for a while,
Yeah.
so we're not going to be experiencing any bans for quite a while. Like at least we won't get next BNR till probably I want to say 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, probably.
Um, but like the way it is right now, it's fine. I just don't like the fact that if you're not running like one of 5 deck archetypes, you just don't really have a chance.
Yeah, that's what it feels like sometimes because there's so many ways to like cheat mana right now that if you're not cheating mana, you're just losing. If you're not running Wilderness Reclamation, if you're not running Fires of Invention, if you're not, using using there are many ways to cheat mana in standard right now, and I think it's kind of crazy. Like Nissa duplicates your mana. It's just there's so many ways to do it, and I think it's kind of a slippery slope. I'm not sure if they should keep going that way in that direction.
at least though, like one argument I can make for Nissa is the fact at least the lands that become creatures, they don't have indestructible. So you
Until
could
you
still be like,
ultimate her.
yeah, but you're really gonna allow someone to get up to plus
Yeah,
seven,
no one's
plus
ever
eight.
gonna. Well, I've done it before, but it's so rare.
Yeah, but like the thing is, at that point, if someone like allows you to do it because they're like, oh, she's not a threat. No, 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 no. You made a wrong mistake.
Who thinks Nissa isn't a threat?
Um, on my commander table, because I run it in Hydras, and where I use it as a game of listen, she's not really that big of a problem when you really should be looking about the progenitus.
Yeah, you like draw attention away from her. But look at this.
Yeah, and then because the thing is, I never end up ulting her because she'll be killed right at 7. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I also lost like 3 of my lands, which is like that saddest experience. Is
Yeah,
like,
it's really sad.
destroy all creatures. Oh fuck.
There go all my lands that I made into creatures.
And I scoop. But at least we don't have to deal with like Sultai and Simic food anymore.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I'm definitely glad Oko is still banned. I hope he stays banned forever, in all formats forever.
because it was always so funny because with Sultai you make a Dreadhorde General. The Dreadhorde is it Dreadhorde General? Or is it Dreadhorde?
Dreadhorde Invasion?
Yes, the one that you amass constantly every turn.
Yeah, Dreadhorde Invasion.
So you constantly keep using that token of like, oh cool, it's a mass 1, and then you make it a 3/3 elk, and it's just all elks. Everything is an elk.
Yep, and then your opponent plays something better, and we'll just switch that around real quick.
Yep. But
Yeah,
at least it has the CMC restriction. That's like the one good thing.
Yeah, I guess. All right, well, I think we're gonna wrap up the podcast here. It's been great talking to you, man. Hopefully have you on again soon. Yeah, anything you want to plug?
I have a Twitch. You can catch me on twitch.tv / RighteousRaikou, RighteousRaikou. I know it's a mouthful. And then I also have Instagram, which is also at RighteousRaikou. Same for Twitter. And YouTube, I will be starting back up soon, so I don't exactly want to plug that just yet.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, talk to you later, man. Good
All
podcast.
Right. Thanks for having me.